Hi, good day. So this is the part 2 of our CodeIgniter 4 lesson. So this is still the basic CRUD operations for your API endpoint. But at the end of this lesson, the students are expected to update data from the database using CodeIgniter, then delete data from the database using CodeIgniter. During the part 1 of our lesson, we have downloaded and configured CodeIgniter 4. Then we have selected data from the database. Then lastly is insert data into the database. Okay, next, for the update, we'll open index.php and add an a tag as a button on the last column of every row, then call the edit record method in the student controller and pass the student number as or the primary key as the parameter. So let's go to index.php. Oh, not this one. So index.php. Then here we will add an a tag. E tag. Yeah, it's an a tag. A tag. Then href will be base URL. Base URL. Then the student controller, add the record. Edit record. Then the student number. Let's just copy this one. Okay, then the button has a design. Let's go to add record. Let's copy something here. Paste, copy the class. Let's change this to a single quote. Then the icon. It should be, let's change also this one to single quote since our echo is double quote. Then edit. Okay, it's now the same. And refresh. Oh, it's not a plus but a pen, and not primary but warning. Okay. But once we click the edit button, it's still not doing anything because we still have no edit record method. So now, in the student controller, let's create an edit record function or method that accepts one parameter. So in this case, the student number. Then call the get student info by student number function of the student model, but we still also don't have this one. Then store the result inside the array key student and pass the result to edit record view. So let's do that. Go to student controller. We can just copy the add record method. Then rename this to edit record. Then this should accept one parameter, the student number. Okay, then we have to get the value from the database. Let's copy this one, paste that here. But instead of getting the whole student information, we will just get one data. So get info by SN. Then pass the student number. Okay, that's what we did. And student model. Here, let's go to the next one. So let's create a get student info by SN that accepts one parameter. Then here, we will add the where clause. So builder where, then the column name is student number, then the value is SN. Okay, and instead of get result, we will change this to get row since only one row will be returned. Okay, let's go back here. And instead of add record, change this to edit record. Okay, we can just copy the add record. Okay, copy, paste, rename this edit record, then refresh here, but it's still not displaying the values from the database. To do so, here inside value, we will print student info, then student number. This is the column name. So let's try that. Okay. But for the student number, since it's the primary key, we will I will change it to read only. Okay, read only. Then copy this for the rest of the fields. Okay, first name, middle name, last name. Let's check. Okay, now shows those. But for this one, we will check. So if student info is male is equal to 1, we will echo selected. So if it's not 1, we'll echo nothing. Then copy that. Then if his male is 0, then female should be selected. Fresh. So now male is selected. And for the date of birth, let's copy this. And the column name is date of birth. Okay, now let's edit the button. Instead of add student, let's do edit student, then append, and warning. Then for the form, instead of calling the student controller and add record, we will call the edit record method. So this one. Save, refresh, refresh. Right, it's now edit student. Then after calling the edit record method in student controller, so here instead of calling insert student record, we will call edit student record. Let's follow the PowerPoint presentation. Let's also add the required attribute so that instead of just the CodeIgniter validation, we will also trigger the HTML5 validation. Oops. And date of birth here. Okay, next. Okay, so here we named it update student record. So it's update student record, and we will remove the student number since it's the primary key. We'll move that here. Okay, then remove that. And since we do not have an update student record yet, we will add that in the database. Here, let's copy this one, change this to update student record. Table name, let's copy the where clause, and instead of just one parameter, also get this student number. Then set the data, set data. These are the data that will be updated, and instead of calling insert, we will call update. Okay, and if update is also successful, we will redirect to the student controller. Let's change this to Roger, Serrano, case, edit. Okay, too few arguments. Oh, okay. I now know the problem. So here, if we call edit record, we'll pass again the student number. So that in case there are validation errors, it will be redirected to the student number that we are currently editing. So here, we just pass, I called edit record without the student number. Okay, edit record. Oops. Oh, we lack a slash. Okay, let's edit again. Okay, edit. So here it is now. We have updated the record in the database. Okay, next is delete. So we again open index.php and add the delete button. So index.php, where are you? So here, let's copy this one, change this to delete record. So delete record, then delete. The button is danger, so that its color red. Refresh. So we now have edit and delete. But we do not have a delete record method yet. So let's go back to the student method. And here, we just call the delete student record function in the student model. Then if delete is successful, then we redirect to the student table, data table. Okay, let's copy this. We have no delete record yet. So delete this and rename delete record. Then just need this function. And instead of insert, let's change this to delete student record, then student number. But we do not have a delete student record yet in the student model. So let's do that. Let's copy this. It's delete student record, and we do not need the data anymore because we just need the student number. And instead of update, it's delete. Okay, let's refresh. Let's try to delete this one. Okay, there it is. The record is now deleted. Okay, so that's it. That's how you do CodeIgniter CRUD operations using using a template. The next lesson will be the API CRUD operations. Okay, so if you have any question, please email me at pmserrano@cspc.edu.ph. So thank you for listening. See you next time.